Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is I once again. Welcome to Autism Talk. Glad to have you once again. Glad to have you once again. And I hope to continue to have you as I educate you on autism, special education services, or and IEPs. Um, I want to continue with IEPs and I want to share with you on this particular time. Once the IEP meeting is over, you've made it to the end, you've agreed with the IEP, or you partially agree with the IEP, or you disagree with the IEP. Once that IEP meeting is over, it's not finished for you yet. Okay. There are some things you should do after the IEP meeting, some follow-up, some, maintaining things and making sure things are in place. Okay. Just that you're checking on that and making sure things are done accurately and correctly. All right. You want to monitor things yourself. All right. Um, so there are some parts as you as the parent or guardian or the caregiver that should take a role also, not just the school, but also you as the caretaker, the parent or guardian. So after the IEP meeting, you should review the results of the meeting with your child if it's appropriate, okay? And you're able to identify whether it's appropriate to share the information with that child if they're able to understand it, if they're at the age that they can understand it, or even at the mental capacity to understand. Okay. But you want to review the results of the IEP. Let them know what their goals and what goals are set for them, what they've noticed, some progress and stuff. They like to hear that stuff. You don't have to read the IEP to them. They don't want to hear that. But letting them know, like, oh, yes, you've improved in this. Your scores has gone up in this. You're doing really, really well. You've moved up, one or two grade levels or one or two, whatever um, points, those kind of things. And we're going to put in place some new IEP goals for you. So your current IEP goals, are this, but we're changing it to this. How do you feel about that? Things like that. And they can give you their input. Because remember, at the beginning, when I started the IEP series, it was like talk with your child, initially before the IEP meeting and just see how they feel about school, their goals, what works for them in learning, what doesn't work for them in learning, so that they can also, take part of that. So after the IEP, make sure you're having that conversation with the child and going over the results of the IEP. Okay. You want to also maintain communication with your child's teacher. You want to make sure they have a copy of the IEP, make sure they are well aware of what the IEP goals are. Remember, in that IEP, it tells them what accommodations and things, different strategies they can use in the classroom for the student. So you want to make sure they're well aware of those, the new goals and accommodations or modifications that's been made or created for the child. Something else you might want to take a look at is check and make sure the new services or the resources they were put in place. Make sure, if the child is getting speech now and they never had speech, make sure speech is in place. Like, when does he start his speech sessions? How often is it going to be? When are they going to do it? Are they taking them out in period 1, period 2, period 3? Is it going to be at lunchtime? See how it's been implemented. Absolutely, absolutely. You want to also confirm that the related services providers have seen the current IEP. So whoever's giving these additional services, is a speech pathologist, if it's adaptive PE, if it's OT, PT, that's occupational therapy and physical therapy, if he has any of those services or counseling, that those people have a copy of the current IEP and know what his goals are also. Okay. So they'll know what they're supposed to be working on when they have the child. Okay. Make sure you visit your child's program on a regular basis. Just go check it out, see what's going on. Take a look. I know a lot of us are working parents or caregivers or, guardians, but, from time to time, go check it out. Go see what's going on. Try to make it to the parent conferences, the back to school night, open house, whatever they calling them these days. And, from time to time, go and check it out. Maybe on your lunch break, if you're not that far from the school, just go peep in because their lunch may not be at the same time as your lunch. And go see what's going on in the classroom. Just check out the program, okay? And then from time to time, periodically check the IEP against the schoolwork for consistency. See if, you got these math goals, and the math goals was for little Johnny to learn his, multiplication facts from 2 to 4 multiplication facts. See if the homework is lining up with him, learning those multiplication facts. If you've noticed, like he never gets homework about multiplication facts, like you have a question, you have a concern. Okay, and you can reach out to the teacher and ask what's going on, or ask little Johnny. Little Johnny might be like, "Oh yeah, I do that in class all the time. I practice. We got a song, we watch a video, and then I have to write them." So, maybe the teacher don't want to overwhelm him with the homework, but check it against the IEP, all right? Periodically, just pay attention to what homework he's having and see what, the IEP is saying that the goals are. Monitor that homework. Make sure little Johnny is doing the homework, not just doing the homework. Does the homework align with what that IEP says, those IEP goals, okay? So monitor that homework. See if he's getting any homework. He might not be getting any homework. I don't know. But monitor the homework. Pay attention to that. And you yourself evaluate the progress. See if he's, improving or not improving. See if anything, if things are getting better or not in a certain um, area or goals that has been set. See if, there's any progress, what you've noticed, okay? Going off a speech. Let's say you had a concern that he doesn't say his pronounce his R's clear enough to be understood. And so the speech pathologist is supposed to be working on him pronouncing the letter R's, where it could be legible, understandable to others. And now you're noticing it's like, seem like it's getting worse. I don't, or you might be, oh yes, I can tell you, yes, he's pronouncing his R's very good, whatever, you can evaluate that progress, see if it's getting better or see if it's getting worse, not just with the related services, but even with the academic goals, okay? And then some of our students, they may even have a behavior support plan. See if any of those behaviors are improving. Evaluate the progress. You can always reach out to the teacher or the case carrier so that you can make some adjustments, just in case there's no progress, or if there is a lot of progress, we can make changes, okay? Um, Check and see if you're receiving periodic reports from the school on progress or problems that's going on. You know, how often you getting information that he's progressing or he's not progressing, or is he meeting his goals, his objectives. How often are you being notified of that? Pay attention to that. If you're not getting anything, reach out, ask, reach out. And you want to know, how is your child progressing? You want to know. You're checking the report cards, you're checking his homework, you're asking the child what has he learned, and you're questioning him about different things that he's done. And you're watching and observing to see if you notice any of these progressions in academics or any of the related services that he's received, um, things like that. So you're being observant yourself. Um, and kind of question, do you think the program that you just agreed to or agreed to 6 months ago, is it working? Have you noticed any improvement? If it's not working, guess what? You get to make changes. You get to make changes. That's the best thing to do. You want to wait forever, the end of the year and there were no changes. You could have made some changes. Okay. Um, and if there's some changes you would like to make, guess what? You can. Just formally, um, do it in writing, call for an IEP meeting. I don't mean phone call for it. I mean, ask for request an IEP meeting, and you can change the IEP. They will make an amendment to the IEP meeting, or they'll do a whole nother IEP meeting for you, depending on what your concerns are. Okay, so you do need to let them know what your concerns are. I want to readdress the program that we agreed to at the beginning of the year. I am seeing that his speech is not improving, or I'm seeing that this math goal that we've set seems a little out of reach for him at this moment. You let them know what your concerns are, okay? And then, we'll reschedule one. Or if you think it's not something that formally needs to be changed in an IEP, you can actually speak with the teacher and, try to make some adjustments for some of the educational goals or things like that that you think might help, that would help progress the student in their success. So those are some things you need to check out or keep in mind, after the IEP meeting. Don't just walk out the IEP meeting and be like, "Whew, yes, it's over. I'm finished, done." No, still monitor. Okay. Monitor what's going on. Go over it with your child. Make sure you keep in communication with the teacher. Make sure everyone has a copy of the IEP who needs to have a copy or not of the IEP. Make sure the services have started. Make sure it's the correct services. Make sure the person that's rendering the services have a copy of the IEP. It's like you being a supervisor, okay? You're being a supervisor over your child, okay, who's educating your child and providing services. So keep that in mind. And remember, in all of this, just be respectful and stay respectful. Okay. And also kind of make sure your child talk talk it over with your child. See how they feel. How do they feel? Are they happy? Are they happy at school? Are they happy about school? Check in with them. Check in with them definitely. Because sometimes they can think it's too difficult, it's too challenging, the new stuff that's being taught. And they can become frustrated and shut down. They can act out in different ways. It could be one of their triggers. Um, so make sure you reach out and see how your child is feeling. Pay attention to their behaviors. Pay attention to, their interactions. Watch them. Be observant. Okay. Pay close attention because sometimes it's not just the academics or the school portion. It may be the social aspect. Okay, not being able to make friends or having too many friends or getting caught up in the social aspect where they're doing what they trying to follow what the friends are doing. So they're not paying attention to the schoolwork. Could be a lot of things. So pay attention, ask your child what's going on, how do they feel? Are they happy? Are they not happy? Do they like school? Do they not like school? And even to those responses, have them elaborate why. Like, what do you like about school? Why do you like school? Or what do you not like about school? What's going on? Either way, okay? Try to get them to elaborate and not just give you a yes or no, okay? And then watch their bodies. Watch their body, okay? Watch those nonverbals. All right. Thank you for listening. And those are some tips for you on after an IEP meeting, what you should do. All right. Once again, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And make sure you share the YouTube channel with others and have them subscribe. And make sure you subscribe also. Thank you. Down in my comments, you'll see my webpage. Website address. And if you'd like to buy some merchandise, if you noticed I have an Autism Talk cap on, that will help me get the message out about Autism Talk. I appreciate that so very much. And I'll have that in my comments also. You can get you an Autism Talk cap. Thank